Hello, everybody. I hope you have your beverage of choice. In this case, it's a warm beverage for me. It's a little chilly this morning, so I am ready to show you some ideas and give you a little hint, tips, that type of thing. So I've walked this morning. I've done a load of laundry. So I've been a busy girl. I still have a bunch of things to do. Hey, Barb. But that's okay. I'll do them after the video this morning. I've had so much fun with today's card. It was inspired, shall I say, by Designer Series paper. So today's hint will be to show you how to use your Designer Series paper for color combos. I saw this one paper in the collection. It's actually the, what's it called? Fine Art Floral DSP, and I love the colors on it. But the paper I have to play with this paper. It's really busy. So I want to play with it. Now the back of them isn't bad, but the flowered part, that's pretty busy. And I love the look. So I think it would be more for adding a sentiment too. So I've got to kind of play with it and see what I can come up with, and then I'll share it with you so that you guys get some ideas about how to use this paper. Because it's gorgeous paper, but it's so busy, so busy. I was thinking, well, small pieces. But if you use it as a background, like I said, I think you're going to have to use a large sentiment on it in some form. But I'll play and see. Who knows? Because I just don't think this flower will work. But the Forever Greenery dyes, I know that's not what they're called, they may work. I just think it needs to be greenery. Oh, I just had a thought. I wonder if it would work, even this stamp set, if you use the dyes. Hey, Diane. Hey, Linda. With vellum. I may try that one. I think I have an idea. See, I love talking to you guys. It just, I just get all kinds of ideas when I start talking to you guys. I don't know why. Probably because I'm sharing. And I verbalize things out loud anyway. A lot of times I talk to myself. Now, what do you think of? What about this? And, but, oh well. I'm by myself. Sometimes I talk to Bijou, the dog. She doesn't answer, but she looks at me and twists her head like, okay, Mom, whatever you say. But, I guess I'm an auditory type person. Or maybe that's how I process things. Who knows? At my age, I should know, but I don't. So, but I have to tell you, I ordered 2 packages of this paper. I ordered one and forgot I had ordered the second one. So it's like, oh, darn. So I got a lot of this paper to use. So you'll be seeing it a lot. Oh, I love that, Linda. I love it. I talk to myself when I need expert advice. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you think I'm an expert. So, but yeah, it was fun. And I enjoyed playing with it, and I love the way this card turned out. It's 2 colors that I've used together before, and I just love the look of them. And it was like, how can I create these flowers to look like this paper? Because it's painted, and I think I've come up with a pretty good way to do it. So, all right, I'm going to take one more drink. And let's get started so that we can, I always move my tea way out of the way. I will never forget the time I was working on a card. I got to move my chair too or I'll trip over it. and I had water sitting off to the side, and I knocked my water over, and it went all over my card. Well, it was a pretty good accident, if I should say. I ended up using the card, and it just had a little bit different look. But who knows? Sometimes those things work, and sometimes they don't. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to switch to the hand view, and there's the card that we're going to work on today. And this card, like I said, I use the, what's this thing called? Fine Art Floral. I have to keep all this straight. There's Art Gallery, Fine Art Floral. This is the paper that I use for my inspiration. I really loved this color here, but that color's not listed back here. And I went, that's not the color, because they listed Mossy Meadow. I said, that's not Mossy Meadow. That color is actually Pretty Peacock. Hi, Sandra. So I chose Pretty Peacock to use for my my stems. And then I really like the look of the white with the pool party. And that's one of the colors listed. So I decided to see if I could create my version of that flower that was white with pool party. So there are the colors I'm using. And I think I did a pretty good, hi Carol, I don't know what you'd call it, copy of the image. So for that card, I'm using the Art Gallery stamp set and the Floral Gallery dies. And this is a bundle. Oh, Carol, I bet you're cold up there. And I used this one, and this one. I know you're saying, you didn't use that one. Wait till you see how I did it. I wanted those flowers to have the look of white. And I thought, how can I do it? And I think I've come up with a way that works pretty darn good. So let me move that to the side. And I'm starting with a white card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. All right. And I will tell you, I changed the sentiment for each card. So I have 2 happy birthdays, and then I did another one for the next and another one for the last one. So I pulled out my large image, I guess you'd say. It's the one that has the most surface area. And I thought, how can I stamp this so that it shows up, but it doesn't show up? So I'm going to show you. Ooh, 26 degrees. That is cold. First thing I have to do, though, is I have to stamp my stem. Because if you don't stamp your stem first, then you may not get your card on there right. I shouldn't say your card, but your flower. And I've got a couple of spots that are... All right, come on here. There we go. All right, and I did it at an angle just to give it some interest. Okay, so I stamped it first. This one, if you stamp in the pool party, there's no form to the flower. So I thought, I wonder if I take this one and I take my pool party and I use a sponge dauber and I sponge the edge all the way around because I didn't want it dark. So I had to think of how I could do it. And I know I'm going over top of the card, but I'm sorry. All right, so I've gone all the way around. And you can kind of see there's a little bit of a blue-green tinge to it. So I've put that down and I stamped it. So that gave the outline, but it left the center white. Then I took the solid image that fills it in, and I inked it up with Pool Party, and I put it down, and I stamped it in the center. And that's how I got that white look, but some form to the flower. My sentiment came from that same set, and I inked it up with, I'm going to open this up so it lays flat, the Pretty Peacock. Oops, I keep moving I want to keep this straight, so I put it down straight. And I stamped my sentiment. And there's my clean and simple card. I love the flower and the way it turned out. I've seen it done with the gold leafing, Linda. I think when people do this, they put too much gold on it. It looks like a blob of gold. So you can do it with gold leafing, but you have to be careful. So just know that. And then I wanted to step it up. So I thought, well, I'll use the same colors. Like I said, I changed the sentiment. And I used the same procedure for the flower and the stem, but this time I used the dies and cut them out. So let me show you how I did this one. The first thing I did was I took the Scripty background and a piece of Pool Party, and I embossed it because I wanted to give some interest to the background. So after I emboss it, and I'm going to close these up because I have everything stamped and all. I don't want to put my hand on in my ink and take and get it on my project. So then I'm going to add my double-sided tape all the way around. Remember, if you emboss something, you need to use, hey Tina, you need to use double-sided tape to make sure it sticks down. And the reason being is when you emboss, there are valleys and flat surfaces. And your valleys, if they don't have enough glue on them, they're not going to stick. So I use the tear and tape because I know it's not going to come apart. I know people have used the glue, but if you have a lot of embossing on it, I have found the glue still doesn't give it enough to really hold it. All right, I've got my, oops, this side. Card base done. Now I'm ready to put my background on. I'm going to take this off. Make sure you burnish your ends on your sticky tape. All right. And then we can put this down and put our flower together. I used a lot of dimensionals on the back. Now, when you put this down, watch your wording because there is, even though it doesn't really say a whole lot with what I've read, I don't know where it comes from because it says, so full of joy when you stood on the, and that's it, but who knows. It's probably some kind of story or book or whatever. So make sure your words are right side up before you stick it down. And I forgot to show you that tint, so I will do that next time on the next one. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to add my dimensionals to the back. And I got to cut some. That's the one thing I forgot to do. Okay. So, and I just added, I didn't worry about the stem. I just added one on each leaf because I figured it's okay, it's not going to mess up. And then I took and I sprinkled these around the edge and I put one in the center just because the machine, when you send it through the post office, that machine kind of crushes things and it may collapse, and you don't want that collapsed. So I stick one in the center also. And I'm going to take my backs off. I think I am. Like I said, I think I got a batch of dimensionals that they don't release as well as some of the ones in the past. Maybe they haven't cured enough. Usually I buy a bunch at the same time, and then I know it sounds crazy, but it could be that that's the issue. All right, I'm going to put my stem on first. Then I'm going to add my flower in. And you want to make sure you cover the top up, so come of that stem up, so come down just slightly on it. And then I stamped my sentiment, and this time I used I'm Thinking of You, and I used that little tiny punch that I absolutely love. If that thing ever breaks, it's a banner punch. I don't know what I'm going to do because it's the perfect size to do this with. But what I did with this one was, instead of feeding it through to get the flagged in from the top, from the inside out, I went from the outside in, and I got the pointed end. I don't know how to describe it other than flag and pointed. I guess that's an arrow. All right, so now I've got my sentiment on, and there's my stepped up version. I'm going to go a little further, and I'm going to go to a excuse me, a wow card. And this one wasn't a whole lot different, but just enough. So let me show you what I did on this one. And I have a hint for that punch. You're going to be surprised what punch it is. All right. Let me get all my supplies out. Over here. Okay. I may pull in a scrap piece of paper and show you how I did that punch, just so you see it. All right, I've got my card base. It's, again, Pretty Peacock. And I love the Pretty Peacock with Pool Party combination. I think it's a very pretty combination. So, if you're struggling for some color combos, think about that one. I know we all have times when it's like, what do I use color-wise? Look at your DSP. Let's see what you can come up with. All right. I'll put my sticky tape all the way. I should say it's double-sided tape. It's not really sticky tape. It's double-sided tape all the way around. And I'm going to take the backs off. Burnish your ends real good first so that it doesn't release. I've forgotten to do that a couple of times, and it does pull the tape up from the edge. So I just go back and push it down. All right, there's that. I got to get these off. You guys all have plans to craft this weekend? With it being cold and yucky, that's what I'm going to do. Stay inside. Craft to my heart's content. All right, let me open this up. All right, I'm looking at my words. I was getting ready to put it down wrong, and I did it again. Oh, well. I was going to show you how to put this down straight if you struggle with that, but I have shared it before. All right, then I used the same procedure for my flower, and I love that white center. It really, oh, Carol, you're doing my least favorite thing. I do not like cleaning, and Barb will attest to that. Oh. My goal is to get a cleaning lady, but I want to wait till this COVID thing calms down a little. I don't have a whole lot to do. It shouldn't be an issue, but it's just something I don't like. So I feel at this stage of the game and at my age, why spend your time doing something you don't like? So, all right, let me take my backs off. See how these are just popping off? They're not sticking to my... Make sure you hold this carefully so you don't rip your leaves off or your stem. Get those out of here. All right. I'm going to add that there. So far, everything's the same as what we did before. But let me show you how I created that hello. I'm going to take a scrap piece of cardstock over here, and I use the Pretty Peacock ink, and my hello. The hello did come from, which stamp set did it come from? I'm not seeing it because it's not in there. Oh, it's Quite Curvy. It's that favorite set of mine. All right, so I'm gonna stamp my hello. All right, then I pulled in this fancy, Label Me Fancy tag punch. And I started at the top, and I'm going to need a Post-it note because it's not wide enough. All right. Or long enough, I should say, to hold on to it. So I'm holding it so that that decorative edge is at the top, and I put it in, and I'm keeping it close to the top like so, and I'm centering it. All right. Then I take and I went in upside down. So I put it in this way, and the advantage to this is you can use the sides of the punch and the side of the piece you've punched to punch out the other edge, and you get it in there. And this is not straight, but this is how I did it. So there's another way to use that punch and get small pieces. This one is better, so I'm going to use that. And I'm going to add some dimensionals right on the back of that. So far, other than changing what sentiment I used, it's the same as the stepped up version. Pull that down a little, like so. And I thought, well, it needs a bow. So I pulled out my white crinkled seam binding. I'm trying to train myself not to say whisper white because we no longer have it. It's basic white. So I'm just trying to say white, and then it won't matter. Come on. Can't get that bow down small enough. There we go. All right. I'm going to trim my ends. Get that out of here. I think I need to sharpen my scissors. Somewhere in all my stuff I have a thing that sharpens scissors. I'm going to add this to the back of a glue dot, and the glue dot is a little bit bigger than that knot. So what I do is I take and I pinch it with my fingernails and push that knot up underneath, and then I'm going to add it so it looks like a little bouquet. And then it still wasn't enough. So I pulled out the Elegant Faceted Gems. Now these are great gems. There's a clear, this is petal pink, and this is white. So I use the white ones. I hadn't used them much, but I think they're great. And these are tricky to get off also. I need to, they're stuck down. I need to bend them like you do the gold ones to get them to release. So keep that in mind because I tried going underneath, and what happened was it separated from the glue dot that it's on the back. And then I'm going to add a couple of little ones. So, yeah, see, this one's separated. I didn't get it under there. All right, so bend it. All right, come on. This one's going to be difficult for me. There we go. I'm going to put that one over there. And I'm trying to space them so that they're not in a line either way. It just adds more interest. All right, there we go. Got that one. And there's that. And there's the wow card. Easy peasy. You can add something to the center if you want. I didn't. If you wanted to take it a little further, the stamp set, which is here, has this piece that you could put in there with a darker color, but I kind of like that one because I think it mimics that paper. So we went from clean and simple to stepped up to wow. And there are the 3 cards. Same basic layout. All I did was add some embossing. Thanks, Barb. Thanks, Carol. And then with this one, I added a decorative punch and some ribbon and gems. So my kind of card, because even though it's a wow card, there wasn't a whole lot to it. So, but I love this color combination, and I'm glad I had that paper to inspire me, because that's the colors came from that paper. I don't know if you guys have seen it. And I will tell you, I did try, I punched through it playing with some other ones, but I tried, what were the colors I tried? I'm looking to see if my paper's over here. Yeah. I tried, I think it's Petal Pink with, what's that one? Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo, and I didn't like that. And this one was Petal Pink, isn't it Petal Pink? Yeah, Petal Pink with Terracotta Tile. And it wasn't speaking to me, you know? So that's the reason why I went, I really liked a pool party, and I really liked those white flowers. So I thought, I'm going to give it a try with the pool party and see what I could come up with. So use your paper for color combos, even for other images, because that's where this came from, was that paper. So I just, and I love the fact that I could get the center white. So there, even though there is a hint of the pool party around the side, it looks almost like a white flower. But adding that pool party around the edge gives it some form to the flower so that you kind of see more of a petal. Because up here, there wouldn't be a whole lot in either of those, and when you cut it out, it was like, oh, that doesn't look straight, right? So I gave it a try, and it worked, and I liked sponging or using the dauber because it came out lighter than the full-strength pool party. So there you go. And fun card, and I have some cards to mail out. I've got a couple of people I need to send cards to, so I'm going to be using these to send out and everything, and I'm building up my supply of happy birthday. I've got a lot of people with birthdays coming up. My customers, I try and send birthday cards to so that they have a little note from me. You're welcome, Carol. Have a great weekend to you too. All right, let me switch back to my face view. And there we go. So lots of ideas today. Hope they inspire you and that you'll pull out your paper. Hi, Marie. You taken try some ideas and look at your DSP to get some ideas for your cards. So, all right, well, I'm going to get ready and go because I've got like 4 or 5 cards I want to get made today and a couple of videos. So I'm going to be a busy girl, but that's fine because it is cool, chilly here, and I'm just going to stay inside and have fun. So I'm going to sign off. And you know what I think I'm going to do Monday? Let's try this. Monday, I'm not going to do a Facebook Live. I'm going to do a Zoom craft along. So grab supplies, join me, and we'll craft on whatever you want to work on. If you have questions, I'll help you out. I'll put the link in the group page and on the Facebook page because I'm going to invite other people. And we'll just have some fun crafting on Monday at noon and just use your supplies and have some fun. All right. Thanks, Tina. I'm going to try. I will see you guys Monday at noon, but it'll be a Zoom. So we'll have some fun crafting. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.